Yeah, man. I guess to like get into some like background. When did you guys start?
When we start, it started in 1996. It started.
That's how long you guys have been here?
Yeah. Well, we've always been a farm because my family came from Poland.
Yeah, talk about that because when you actually so recently we went to the farm.
Yeah.
Just like some background on how we kind of got the ball rolling to get you in here today. It was like, keys to the back door. We went in and checked out all the exhibits. It was probably the coolest zoo. It was the coolest zoo experience that I've ever had in my entire life.
I appreciate that. Thanks, man. I try to provide.
Well, yeah, I mean,
abide.
you don't really. It was kind of going into what I was talking to you about. I was like, you don't realize what goes into a zoo for the longest time.
Yeah.
If you don't, if you're not like aware of how a zoo works, you might have like a bad taste in your mouth. Like, oh, these animals were pulled out of nature, and you know what I mean. And
a lot of people have that aspect, and
talk about that.
My purpose is when I show animals and things.
Yeah.
Don't get an exotic pet, man. You got to get a dog. Even if you're not that, if you want an animal, get a cat. They're very self-sufficient.
Right.
And if you really want something that's really mellow, get a snake.
Yeah.
The birds, they're loud. Some people are
super loud.
I mean, I'm not monkey, but like getting a monkey and stuff like that. If you have the facility in place, all they do is crap everywhere.
But it's like, well, where it comes from a lot of times when people are put off by it, it's their perception of where it's coming from. And more often than not, like you were explaining to me, there's just a fluctuation of animals in captivity that breed. Like you have several pairs of animals that are breeding currently.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can just go, oh, we're going to put this monkey or whatever back into the wild. You either keep it or you, like you said, you have to give it away.
Yeah,
How does that work?
Well, there's nothing we take is taken from the wild. Everything's captive bred. And a few of the monkeys we have is because of that fact. Like we got two capuchins, white-faced capuchins, like the one from, what was that? The Johnny Depp movie there, the pirate one, Pirates of the Caribbean.
No way, they came actually from...
No, that's what the type of monkey it is. But these two monkeys, we got them from people that thought they were gonna have a monkey, have a helper monkey, And I also tell people there's a movie from Stephen King. It's called Monkey Shine, and I tell people watch that movie because they used to try to make helper monkeys.
Yeah,
and it does. Recently we had a lady come and she had severe anxiety and stuff like that. Uh-huh. And normally we like to find out where the animal's going and stuff because it's not like it used to. Like years ago, you could just animals this and right, and
people could just buy them.
Yeah, and the laws they do hinder some of the stuff that we do, but it's a better thing for us. I mean, and we have so many macaws that people get a macaw. Oh, they're beautiful. It's like, okay. Those are screaming in your face. Right. And that beak is like this. It takes you.
Well, what's surprising to me, because I have a friend who actually has a macaw, and come to find out they can live 70, 80 years.
That's the plus, right?
So like if I got one now, being 29, I might not see it through till I would die before it would.
Yeah, I got a turtle that's gonna live to about 300 years old. And I'm like, who's gonna adopt that thing when I'm done?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's something because we have other facilities that we trade with, bring animals and stuff, and like getting reindeers, and there's some hoof stock that we can't get, like some antelopes,
elk and stuff.
The elk, but reindeers, the biggest example is we can't get them anymore. Kids used to love seeing reindeers, like Santa Claus and stuff like that.
I miss the giraffe.
Yeah, I know the giraffe.
The giraffe was awesome.
Yeah, he was cool. Me and him had words though. He didn't really care for me because I had to shoe him in the pen in the wintertime.
That must be really crazy developing a relationship like that with so many. Well,
we had one before that, which was wicked cool. Like you go and when you see a giraffe, because we had the stand and you feed them over top, but when you're down and you're looking at them, I mean, their hooves are like this. And it'd knock your head off if you're in the wrong spot.
It's hard to imagine an animal that big until you really see it.
Yeah, and also your point of people, the concept of zoos and stuff. A lot of people when they come,
Well, for the longest time, that's why I never went because I'm like, yeah, it is kind of cruel, but when you really look into it, I mean.
Well,
you don't realize what's already in motion.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, Tiger King came out. You probably saw some of it or heard about it.
I try not to associate with it because it's just too much for me, man. People started calling me exotic Stan. I'm like, no. Do not call me that, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't want to get that kind of energy.
Yeah, exactly.
No. And it's funny because you wouldn't realize off the bat that the tigers that exist on the planet are in captivity.
Same with panda bears.
Yeah, so like most of the time when you see certain animals, they're not just stripped aggressively from their habitat. They're usually in some type of rotation of care
and
between different organizations.
Yeah, and things like we do our best. I mean, like I said, from the start my family came from Poland, and we started as a farm.
Yeah,
pigs
go back
and chickens,
to that.
I mean, we were self-sufficient, make kielbasa, and chickens and eggs. All that stuff,
It's still like that, at least in Portugal.
We haven't bought eggs in probably like 5 years, lately, because we've been
I see the chickens.
Yeah, and then in the morning I'm like, oh, is this a peacock or is this?
Right?
Like all different sizes.
Yeah.
And but like going back to the giraffe, like the giraffe, its skin is so tight, it's like a flight suit, so the blood has to pump up, And we had somebody call the USDA. They're like, "Oh, it's malnutrition. I can see its ribs." No, it's the skin is that tight. You can see the ribs.
You've never seen a fat giraffe.
You really see it. But the thing is, a lot of people, they don't take time to ask when they're at the zoo. They're like, "Oh my god."
No.
Another one is our camels. A lot of people don't know the camels originated in North America.
Yep.
And they crossed the land bridge over to Asia and Mongolia.
No kidding. That's good to know.
And the thing is,
our
that's
camels, fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, and you think of it as a desert animal.
Yeah.
But ours get all furry right through the winter, And then when summer comes, they molt. Their fur starts coming off. And we had some lady call they got mange. They're all and I try to catch those people before they go off the edge, off the cliff with their thoughts.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are animals that, like my dad would say it, like he's passed on, but he'd be like, animals, you watch the nature show. They always surviving, they look over their shoulder. Here they got 3 hots in the cot. They're safe, they're happy, they breathing.
Exactly. They must really appreciate that to some extent. It's like, another day without lions type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of these animals
are
ungulates, you know what I mean? They're animals of predation. So
it's if you're not the apex predator, you're looking over your shoulder, man.
Right, right. So, and even as an apex predator, for some of the awesome felines that you have, they don't have to worry about food because you feed them. You know what I mean? So,
and they they chill out. Like I had some cool cats in the back. We just got a new bobcat.
Yeah,
and he's pretty chill. I go in with her, but I'm very aware of her because she'll come. She purrs. I mean, she's like you can hear her purring.
Right.
But as soon as I at the fence, I turn my back. She's like. She's like, as soon as
she's
she
ready to try.
It's like on its instinct.
As soon as you turn your back,
you turn your back. It doesn't see your eyes because that's how they hunt. They sneak up on you. And like with the tigers, the few that are in the wild, when they go out and work in the fields, they'd have masks on the back of their heads, so it looks like it's looking backwards.
Oh yeah.
But the tigers are figuring it out.
No kidding. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, not anymore because they.
Where do you hear about that? So where do they do that?
It's
like Africa.
In Africa somewhere. One of them third world countries.
Right.
I guess,
Especially if you have to, if you're still hunting out there. Because there's still people hunting. Yeah, I know. You got some animals in here. I should have said that at the beginning. Oh, you're already bringing them in.
This is my buddy here. Hold on. All right, here. This one.
Is a whole shitload of animals in here, by the way, folks.
We got whatever was up. Whatever is.
And this is a chameleon.
Yeah.
Does he change color like when he touches something?
Right now, when I'm gonna take him out. But he's very bitey.
Oh, he'll bite you?
Oh, he's a stinker. Come on, ding dong.
Whoa.
Come on. Yeah, I know.
Whoa.
Come on. Whoop. Here you go. I know. Whoop.
Yeah, he's a fighter, huh?
He's a stinker.
Take your time. Your time.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm assuming he's one of the few lizards his tail doesn't come off, or does
no?
It
doesn't. It's prehensile tail. Don't bite.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, here.
But this is a. Yeah, you can put that down. Where's my assistant?
All right. Yeah. Now I know why you got the gloves.
Yeah. Well, just in case. But this is a veiled chameleon, and he's got the prehensile tail. I'll bring up to the camera.
What's that mean? Oh, it can see. See. Oh, that's cool.
But
yeah, I'll take the snake.
So this guy right here, this is a veiled chameleon, and these guys aren't really meant to be handled because their skin is from all the colors. It's chromatophores that the colors pop in and out. It's really high tech, to explain it. I don't even get it a lot of times. But
no, take your time explaining it. What do you know is super awesome because not many people get to sort of pick up that kind of language? I'm assuming, did you go to school for any of this, or this is something?
Well, that's
I would
the thing.
assume
That's the thing. A lot of it is
you learned a lot of this through
I read. Yeah,
experience.
you watch a lot. Back in the day, Mutual of Omaha, Marlon
Right.
Perkins, Jacques Cousteau, and all this.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from them, and
Well, I could speak from experience learning about things in that nature, because I never went to college for what I do, and I do what I do professional to some degree, and I understand the exposure to it is enlightening, because you can learn a lot through doing very little.
Absolutely.
Or not doing very little, but doing a lot. You learn a lot from doing a lot.
And
that's
the thing is, hands-on with animals,
this thing's got my arm.
Yeah, he's a squeezer. But like somebody said, they said, you're an animal professional. I'm like, an animal professional is somebody that doesn't mess with animals.
Right.
So, but this guy anyways, this is our veiled chameleon, and that's how he changes colors. Like each pocket he has on him is a different color. So like if my hand was red, and I close it, you don't see it. And and that's how he changed. Right now he's posting up. That's why he's all colorful.
Look at him. Wow.
And they got these like oven mitts hands to really pinch on, and it's really neat when in the wild, he doesn't do it because he's captive, but in the wild they walk like this swaying thing, and they try to mimic the trees, and like I said, their hands are really, really grippy, and their eyes, they can look, one eye can look dead forward, and the other one can look behind.
Yeah.
But when they lock in, I mean, he could catch a bug about this far away from his tongue, because his tongue is just about the length of his body.
No kidding. From head to tail, the tip of his tail.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, But this guy, he's a little bit of a stinker. So, we'll put him back. I know, buddy. I know.
It's not too bad.
Where do those come from?
They go all through Africa, Madagascar. Places like that.
And how do you guys get them?
I got this guy at a reptile show. There's reptile shows you can
buy them.
Oh yeah, they're legal. They sell them at Petco.
Oh okay, that's right. I have seen those. That's right.
So I mean, but don't ever buy a baby one, because they're hard. When they're baby, they're really fragile. If you're gonna get a chameleon, get an adult. But it's not like lizards are one things that you're not gonna play frisbee with.
Yeah.
They're to be admired.
Mm-hmm.
Snakes like that. They're that
what is this kind of snake?
That one is it's a milk snake.
So does that mean bugs or
no? Milk snake. It's what they kind of got their name was.
Don't tell me milk.
That'd
be crazy.
It's the farmers, because you can find them down south, and farmers would find them in the barn, but they're hunting for mice and stuff, but they've been eating the cows, and somehow something got that they're drinking the milk off of cows. They call them.
I was gonna say, are they related at all to black snakes? They look a lot like a black snake.
Yeah, but all the snakes are basically related, But like him, he's a perfect example of a mimic snake. So he looks like a coral snake.
Yeah, I know.
I always forget that, because I can look at it. It's red and black, friend of Jack, yellow and red. Will kill a fellow. I always get it mixed up. Dyslexic. But this guy right here, I got him when he was only like 7 inches long. And I call it, his name is Houdini, because he escaped so many freaking times.
Really?
Man. Yeah, man. He literally poke. Snakes are smarter than you think. They'll test every little corner of the cage.
Yeah.
And he got out. He's off for like a week, rolling around like he's gone.
Yeah.
And he came back.
Well, that's cool.
But now definitely, now that he's bigger, it's harder for him to escape.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, I took care of a boa that was like 3 times this size. How long do you think he is? 4 feet?
Yeah, about 4 feet. He won't get much bigger.
No, it was like 6 feet. The
one that used to. There's some big snakes. Now they got these mega snakes that are breeding in Florida. They're reticulating into anacondas and they're destroying a population of birds down south.
Really?
Because
they eat birds like crazy. I know.
Oh yeah, the eggs. And the thing is, down south, a lot of the birds, they nest, and there wasn't really many types of snakes that were tree climbers.
Yeah.
Now they're just climbing right up and just pecking off the, eating the eggs and eating all the wildlife.
Yeah.
So yeah, they can be a invasive species for sure.
Oh, big time.
Big
time.
All right, what else we got here? Okay, what do we got here? Oh, this guy's pretty cool. Okay, hey, this guy's a little jump.
Well, it's a cool relationship. To speak on behalf of like having a relationship with a reptile, is that you're a warm-blooded animal in contrast to them being a cold. They probably you can feel them snugging up. Yeah. Okay, so what do we got here?
This one, this is a crested gecko. So I love this guy because he's wicked smooth. It feels like velvet and rubber mixture.
Yeah.
And they're really cool. Yeah, he's a jumper.
Slow-mo replay!
I don't want to pull him on his tail because
his tail will come off.
His tail, but it won't grow back.
Oh, no way.
They got this weird nickname for him. Something like something butt when it comes off.
Yeah.
But with these guys is never mind how they feel. He's a jumper and he has no eyelids. His eyes are constantly open.
No
so
way.
he has to clean his eyes with his tongue.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, to get them wet.
Yeah, because so they don't dry out.
The gecko.
Yeah, it's a gecko. And what's really cool is their little fingers. Here, I'm gonna bring it up to the camera. So
Yeah. Now they won't be able to hear you, but
yeah, I guess.
that is interesting. Here, bring him back just a little bit further. See how he's dark in the thing?
He's got these little fingers that his fingers actually roll back when he walks, and when he rolls them forward, that's what makes the suction.
Yeah.
So he can climb up just about any kind of thing, and they're actually using that technology like for Navy SEAls, like to climb.
Oh, the
buildings
same.
stuff.
I heard about that.
Yeah. So but this guy, he's one of my cool. This is a good little pet. You know, I mean, they can give you a nasty bite if they get.
He looks like a dog.
Yeah, he's got. It's actually a cute lizard. I think it's one of the cuter ones.
Yeah.
You know. So, all right, buddy. Okay, before you bite me, get down. Go get.
That's too cool.
Right. He wants to be on here. Here you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Buddy. Okay. All right.
Well, let's bridge the gap. So your family came here, had a farm, you know, had the agrarian thing going. Now, how and when did the concept of doing
what happened was we had an aviary and we had a lot of
a zoo, yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of the people that we got our birds from, they had also like Japanese pheasants and stuff. Yeah, so my father built an aviary with all these, you know, colorful birds, and people would come by and, you know, see them once in a while. And my parents had a nice backyard. People take wedding pictures back there and stuff.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. until you wake up in the morning and you're in your underwear and there's a bunch of people in your
backyard.
backyard.
What the hell's going on?
We don't do it too much anymore. But
no, shout out to Lupa Zoo though. I mean, you as you're listening, you'll already know who we have here, Stan Lupa and the zoo we're talking about. But you know, like I was saying, it's been so long since I've gone there.
Yeah.
And you know, it's amazing how much is there, and it's just in Ludlow. You know what I mean? Like I always say to myself, I can't believe there's a zoo in Ludlow.
You know, there's people in Ludlow, they're like, you know, live here all their life, so I've never been to the zoo.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I've never been to Basketball Hall of Fame. But when family
I've never
comes,
been to the basketball. Yeah, either.
When family comes, they bring them and stuff like that. You know, and
But you know, I was asking you, how did you guys start the zoo?
Oh yeah,
well,
okay,
like so you had the farm, and they had all that land back there, and then when was like all of a sudden, hey, let's do a zoo? I'm assuming it's an idea of your father's.
Yeah, it was my dad's. Yeah, and what happened was somebody found a baby fawn deer, and they brought it to us. And, you know, we had it, and we didn't have paper or anything like that, but it needed the game warden brought it to us. You know, and people started coming looking at it, and there was this kid. He was kind of a mute, and he came, and the lady kept on bringing the kid to see the deer because he just kind of interacted with it. And the kid kind of like, he didn't really speak. He started mumbling and stuff like that. And my dad was like, "Oh, it's cute." So then all of a sudden, somebody called and said we have a deer, and another environmental thing showed up, and they're like, "We're coming to take the deer." My mom's crying, my dad's yelling.
They're taking the deer.
And the guy walked back there, and he walks back. He's like, "I'm not touching this deer. This deer's got a mate over here." It's like, "What am I going to do with it? It's just a baby." I'm like, "You can't throw it outside after euthanize it." And then we ended up keeping it, and then slowly it snowballed and got out of control, and then and then here we are. So
wait. So like, how do you develop those kind of connections? Do you know of any?
Well, but you had to go for permits.
We're
I keep on getting confused. We're AZA, and we're a nonprofit. But we have.
My point is that I'm sure not anybody can just be like, "Oh, I'm going to buy a few lemurs and some frogs and call it a day."
Yeah, nowadays. Well, you go
nowadays too. It's extremely
Florida, Arizona. Yeah, you can get just about anything you want.
Yeah,
you know, and
Florida for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Texas for sure. I guess there's more. I think that the stat that I was talking about earlier is that there's more tigers in captivity in Texas alone than there is in the entire.
I believe it. Man.
Wild.
You know,
and there's to the point where they're like running around. Some of them are like loose at times.
Yeah, I mean, there's crazy people out there, and there's people that think they do good by going up, and then I'm gonna free the animal, I'm gonna cut the cage open. And there goes half the neighborhood dogs.
Oh, it's so psycho.
Know? Never mind a little kid if he's in the wrong spot.
That's so psycho.
So, but yeah, I mean, it snowballed. It was unintended consequences. It just kept on going.
Yeah.
And then
you made it into like what it is now, in other words, just certainly a fantastic experience.
Yeah, we come a long way. Like I said, we're just a bunch of Polacks that at a farm. And we just, you learn as you go along. And trust me, I've got a lot of scars from learning.
All the animals. Yeah, I was gonna say.
you know?
So you've been working with the animals the whole time.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Do you have more involvement than your siblings in the farm?
Well, no, my brother Wally, he's the mastermind of.
Oh, no kidding.
I'm sorry, my mother's.
He's the Steve Irwin of the family.
Yeah. Well, I would be more the animal guy, but my brother
Okay.
Wally, he does all like design the heaters. Like that place wouldn't function if my brother Wally. I take care of the animals and try to make them happy, like do enrichment. Because like a lot of times, like, and here's a good thing to talk about is enrichment.
Yeah.
Like we have monkeys, you put them in there, and he sits in that thing. Like I'll bring up a box and I'll put some food in it and I'll tape it all up.
Yeah.
And I'll throw it in there and he's got to rip it open and get to it. You give him a new blanket, give him a couple stuffed animals. And that's pretty cool when you see
Barry?
him. Yeah, Barry, my buddy Barry. Yeah, man. So
yeah, the monkeys are wild there. If there's one thing, a huge takeaway in my experience the last time I went there, which was only a couple weeks ago, was the monkeys. The monkeys are insane. The lemurs, it's really the strangest thing when you see a monkey and you haven't seen a monkey in a long time, or if you've never seen a monkey.
Yeah, well, with like our capuchins, she should be having a baby soon. Our cotton tops, which are only about they're about this big.
Yeah,
and they had babies and they're freaking adorable, and they won't get any bigger than that.
Oh,
but yeah,
he's cool though.
Yeah,
he's
guy,
like one of the coolest.
Yeah, that's a red-eyed tree frog. Yeah,
I feel bad having dry hands. You said it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It looks like a poisonous frog, but it's not.
That is.
Yeah, he's amazing. And the thing I just read up on him, it said that they live only till 5 years. I've had this guy for about 10 years.
What?
Yeah, watch, he's gonna die on me tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
That's not gonna work.
No, I hope not. I hope not.
So, but he's awesome. I love my frogs. Frogs are pretty cool.
He is so cool.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Right.
There you go.
Okay, here you go, little buddy. Okay. All right, what else we got here?
I was asking, like, what about elephants and stuff? Oh,
dragon,
man, the bearded dragon.
Here we go. This is my little buddy. Oh, hey. So.
And bearded dragon's always a hit.
Yeah, I got this guy. He's mellow. But what I'm starting to learn is when I first started getting bearded dragons, they come from Australia and they're known for how durable they are with the heat and stuff. And the bearded dragon part comes is when they get upset, they rear their neck out, it turns all blue, and that's the beard part.
Oh, okay.
And but most bearded dragons I've dealt with are pretty calm. But we just got this new one. You saw that little one that we have there.
Yeah.
The thing's actually crazy. I mean, it's just constantly looking for food.
Yep.
But this guy, he's pretty good. He likes to just chill out. So he's not too bad. But these are good. These are good lizards to have. I mean, like I said,
I know somebody who shout out to Sean Van Zant, a good friend of mine, has one in his classroom. He's a science teacher.
Yeah,
kids love it.
Oh,
brings it around the kids all day.
I mean, before, like, even the zoo was there. Like, me as a kid, I used to go out and catch snakes.
Yeah,
and we were in grammar school. I brought in a garter snake, and it was my job to take care of garter snake. And then we went on winter vacation, and I didn't know they shut the heat off in the school. I came back, the thing, it was like a rock hard. It was dead, frozen solid.
No way. The
snake?
Snake?
And then I lost it in the class, and the teacher let me go out in the back and bury it down by, like the new Chapin Street School is.
It's amazing snakes live around here, considering how cold the winters are. Like, when I grew up in Missouri, they're everywhere. Green snakes, ring-tailed snakes, garter snakes, obviously. There's a ton of them. They had a ton of geckos and everything. And
we had in our back of our house, we have a den that they actually just moved on our neighbors this year. But the garter snakes, like in the springtime, this year, me and my nephew was like, "Come here, you gotta see this." Because when the female comes out, all the males wrap up on her and try to mate. And it's like it looks like weird snake orgy.
Yeah,
Sitting there, but they're sitting out in the open, and I felt bad. But I'm looking up, and there's a hawk up there. I'm like, oh man! So I had to break it up. I'm like, all right, break it up, guys, and they take off, and they keep down the mice population, But I mean, not around our place because we got the fattest squirrels and chipmunks you ever seen in your life because they eat off all the food.
I was gonna say, you could definitely tell that there's a lot of rodents around the area. I mean, it's a perfect place for them, and it's not like you can just let your reptiles out to eat them. And
you keep yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That'd just be chaos.
Yeah. So, all right, where am I going? Okay, let me go grab somebody else.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got.
The place is packed with animals, folks. You're in for a show, and all the animals in this production were harmed. All of them. We show them to you, and then we're gonna eat them. It's gonna be a feast. Oh, these ferrets? Snakes are too cool. I'd like a snake. Yeah, we got anteaters. The ferrets.
Yeah, I got a couple of ferrets here. This is Kodo and Podo, and anybody ever watched the movie Beastmaster from back in the day?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're ferrets like these guys. I got these guys at Petco. You know?
Oh yeah.
You know,
I've seen them.
but the
I've
thing
seen
is,
the
like,
exhibit.
people want to get a ferret. They're very mischievous. They're all over the freaking place. They steal your keys. They have a musky smell about them too.
They stink.
Yeah, big time.
I've always wanted a ferret. Remember when I wanted a ferret? So I used to want a ferret really bad. Hindsight's 2020. I didn't really. I'm glad I didn't get one, but they are probably one of the coolest pets you could get
they're not
because of
bad,
how
you know.
interactive they are.
Yeah,
you know?
they are. They're fun.
They're more
But
fun than a cat.
The thing is, when people get them, you should always get two because as much
They're
as
very
you think,
social.
as much as you think you're going to be interacting with it, they need that other buddy. You know, and then you can do stuff like this. You can fool them like that. Yeah, but they're still what they're really made for. Well, they come from Europe originally, polecats.
Yeah.
And they're meant to hunt rabbits. They'd use them for because they'd shove them down the rabbit hole.
And they'd run the rabbits out.
And then when they came here and they started, populating, they actually used them in construction. They would tie a string to their tail and tie the wire to the string. And they'd put them through the pipes, and that's how they would pull wires in some buildings with ferrets.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, but they do have little things. They give you.
They're really smart. I don't know who saw Starship Troopers, but remember Neil Patrick Harris's ferret was mad smart. All right, rotating. Oh, you have another lizard there? Boom. That's another gecko?
Yeah, it's a gecko. Yep. This is a leopard gecko.
Oh, cool.
This one doesn't really climb that much. It's got the toes are a lot smaller. And the difference with this gecko is he actually has eyelids. He can blink. When he sleeps, he closes his eyes. And
now, why do you think that is that some don't have the eyelids?
I don't know, some adaptation,
Predator?
because these guys mostly come from like Afghanistan, the Middle East. You find these, and they live mostly in rocks. But like your gecko, it's climbing trees. The crested gecko climbing trees and things. And this guy is more of a scurrier than anything. And his tail, he fills up with. It gets all fat.
What is his tail made?
Yeah, he can lose his tail. These will grow back.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they're pretty cool feeling.
What is in his tail?
And that's where all the fat is. That's where all the food is. That's how you know he's healthy, when his tail is nice and fat like that. Yeah.
There you go. I'm always so scared of getting their tails off because chasing lizards is a national pastime for me. Where I grew up, there were so many of them. And the worst thing was if you made them lose their tail, because the coolest thing about a lizard was its tail. Oh, yeah. There's the armadillo. And the coolest thing about that was you wouldn't realize that they turn into an actual ball.
Well, there's 9 different species. This is the only one that actually
goes into the ball.
Fold into a ball like that. And this is the 3-banded armadillo.
Yeah.
And the one thing about these guys is most armadillo species, a lot of them carry a leprosy.
Really?
Yeah. So
well, that's good to know.
This is one of the only species that doesn't carry it.
Oh, okay. That's even better to know.
Well, to be honest with you, when I first got him, I was like, hold him. I didn't know much about him. We just got him. And I read up, I'm like,
you can get leprosy.
I had to read it like 5 times. I'm like, you sure it's not this one? You sure? But yeah, it's like a little tank. It looks like something from Dark Crystal or something.
I know, right? It does look like something from Dark. It looks like a Skeksis. Or maybe actually
those big crab things.
What were the nomads? Yeah. What were the nomad names? They were like the opposite of the Skeksis.
Yeah, the really mellow ones. Oh,
yeah.
Those guys.
And they were like nomadic or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
But they were all connected, man.
They were connected. They were like the opposite of the Skeksis. I can't even say that. See if we can roll them. Or if you guys, ever saw, what was it called? Oh gosh, it was the cartoon. Where they went to El Dorado.
Oh, when they were looking for the lost city of gold.
Yeah, and then they even played that game that originated in Maya.
Oh, the Mayan temples.
Yeah, the Mayan
with
temple.
the elbows. Yeah, when I went
with the circle. In the wall.
When I went to Chichen Itza, we saw where they played.
Yeah, that's where I went there.
Yeah, Chichen Itza is wild.
January this year.
Oh yeah. When we went there,
we saw the whole thing, and like when you clap, it makes 7
the echoes down. Yeah. And did they let you climb to the top of the?
No,
the
they
thing?
stopped letting that happen because people were like falling.
We were like the last people. This was like 25 years ago almost.
Yeah.
You know, so we climbed all the way to the top of that, and there's the table on the top where they're cutting people's hearts out and stuff. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I know. They stopped letting people climb it and go in it because somebody stole the eyes off the jaguar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, why do people ruin everything?
That's what I'm saying. Like the thing that was blowing my mind the most about Chichen Itza was going inside of these structures and thinking about this used to be where people would cultivate and like do stuff, and so you're like, you know, the whole time you're like, what were they doing in there?
Yeah,
you know
how advanced it was, how they made it.
Yeah,
like, and when they came, and
the acoustics,
and the Spaniards came and you know, never mind, gave them all the chickenpox, and then you know, killed them off.
Yeah, essentially
and then,
what happened there was the same thing that happened here with the natives.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And the Christianity, they tried to get them on that,
yeah.
and they burned all the books. There's only 3 Mayan books left, and they're not even the good ones.
And they would, and a lot of the archaeologists actually, the first time they went there, stole a bunch of things from the cenotes because they had these cenotes. Some of them were for swimming, obviously, as we all know, or if you know what a cenote is.
No, what is a cenote? I don't know.
It's just a big hole in the ground where that harbors water. But other ones they had would be for sacrifice.
Yeah, they adorn people in gold and chuck them off the side.
Yeah, and they'd throw gold off. They would throw all kinds of.
And that game, whoever won gets their head cut off.
Yes,
that's crazy. You know?
So the players would lose.
Right, you know,
would lose their head.
That's the times where you wish you're not really good in PR.
Yeah.
Gym class. So, but right here I got this is an albino king snake.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this guy is awesome. He's super mellow. This guy wouldn't last in the wild because the albino factor for most animals is not something because they stick out like a sore thumb.
Stick out, right?
Yeah, and what's really cool about these guys is their favorite food in the wild is rattlesnakes.
Yes, I've actually been so lucky to see a king snake at least eat a copperhead.
Oh yeah,
because that was their main in Missouri. Because obviously there's probably different types of king snakes, but they'll eat the I think it's the largest standing poisonous snake in Missouri. There's so many of them. Yeah, and that was like bizarre. Maybe it was a rattlesnake. I don't know.
Well, but it's just crazy how they prefer.
It was a copperhead.
Yeah, copperhead. Yeah, it's just but yeah, it's amazing how they prefer poisonous snakes.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So and they're
what
so
do you feed them?
This guy, we feed him frozen mice.
Oh, okay.
I don't feed him anything wild for a couple reasons.
Alive, you mean?
Yeah, alive. Because
they can bite.
They can bite it, scratch your eyes out.
Yeah.
And when these guys start seeing motion, say you go in there to get the water dish, he sees your hand come around the corner, wow, you know, because it just starts, getting to that mode.
Do you feed? So that's one thing I remember hearing about is that when you're feeding a snake, do you have a different place to feed them other than their
No, we feed them in the same place.
Okay.
There are because what
you know what I mean though, right? You probably heard about that. They'll get like really
what matters.
Predatorial
What matters is what kind of bedding you have, because there's different types of bedding, and like if you have like sand and you feed them in there, and as they're eating it, the sand will get them and can impact, they get impacted.
Yeah.
So yeah, these guys are pretty mellow too. Like I got this guy when he was like 5 inches long too, but this one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of my friends. This is Jeff.
That's his name is Jeff?
Jeff.
What's his name?
I never really know.
Milk Snake?
Yeah, well, I got a buddy, his last name is King, so I called him Jeff.
Yeah.
King, so. All right, let's see what else we got.
All right. Moving through the roster. As I said, all the animals in this show were brutally harmed, mutilated, and eaten. There's a kitchen going on here. We just put them in. We just throw them on a conveyor belt. We put them right back. We got a few things, right? I mean,
we got two more things.
Okay. We found the guys who caused the coronavirus.
Yeah.
The culprits. They're in jail.
So these. Okay, we'll put them.
These ones we won't eat because I think wasn't that like the original story? So it was bat
yeah,
a bat.
And so what was that other animal that looked like an armadillo?
All right, so these guys are really interesting. You can't hold these guys, I'm assuming.
I would. Yeah, they get a little antsy, and like right now, that's why I have 2 of them. I normally don't take them out, but you know, for stuff like this, they're only out for a little bit.
Yeah.
And but they're Egyptian fruit bats, and I think they're super cute. Everybody's like, oh, bats are gross. These guys are
really cool.
They look like they're like fox faces. You know?
I was gonna say they're pretty much just flying mice.
Pretty much, yeah. The flying
they
fox.
They are so cute. Now, what's their sanctuary like? Do they have like a larger?
Yeah, they got a spot. Well, we just put them in for the winter.
This is the one I didn't see.
Yeah, that's in the back. That's why we brought this one.
Okay.
You know, and plus it's close to Halloween, so ooh.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. Yeah, this is a great Halloween episode, by the way. I'm holding a snake. We got bats in here.
You know, and plus I like Batman, so you know,
Batman
you can't
is the
go wrong
coolest.
with Batman. So, but these guys, like a lot of people don't know, there's 1 out of 4 mammals in the world is a bat. You know, and then bats are super important to keep the insect population down. And never mind, like these guys will ravage like fruit farms. But the thing is, when they fly away, they'll go crap it, and they'll like Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah.
And they'll spread things around. You know, they can be for a farmer their worst enemy, but for nature they do their job. You know. So, but these are. I had one of these a long time ago, and I was just moving them, and I was like, I don't need a glove, and he bit onto my thumb.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let go. And it was like 20 minutes. I'm just sitting there, and there's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer is walking down the road, and a bat comes up and bites him on the neck, and he's like, oh, that's a new one. I just watched that episode. I'm like, oh, that's a new one. I literally had to run his head underwater for him to let me go.
So I gotta show my friend this.
So yeah, but I love these guys. Pretty cool.
Yeah. So what's the process to like obtain bats? I mean,
we got these guys
Egyptian bats of all things.
We got these guys from actually we do go to Ohio. It's they have animal auctions there, which you used to be able to get just about anything. You know, for anything from a bear to a monkey and stuff. But the regulations starting to go, so I kind of agree with it. You know, it's a nice place where all the like the zoos, they get together and people, you know, you interact with other people and
and I forget if we covered that, but that's pretty much the basis of like when you get an animal, it's probably not. I mean, the odds of it coming from the wild. What do you think the odds of it coming straight from the wild?
0 to
probably
none.
0
to none
at this point.
Well, we had a Fisher cat a while ago, and the thing with a Fisher cat is I don't get this. You know, it's like you can't shoot the beavers, but if you see a Fisher cat, kill it because you know there are wolverines around here basically. Yeah. You know, and we had this Fisher cat for a while, and we're like, no, so we kept them, and we had one guy back in the day who worked there, and he'd wrestle with this thing and stuff. He got bit up pretty good, but you know, it's to each his own. So, but yeah, these guys are pretty cool. All right, I got one.
They're cool. I feel bad for them.
Well, they got to earn their fruit, man.
Yeah, that's right. You get a grape for that.
Yeah. All right, okay. This one's gonna be a little.
This one needs the gloves.
Yeah, this one needs gloves.
News, he brought a camel. As I say, you guys brought in so many animals. I was assuming somebody would have walked in with a leash with a few camels or something. An elephant, maybe. This snake is cool. Yeah, this is not the podcast you want to listen to. This is the podcast you want to watch. There's been a snake. If you've been listening to it, there's been a snake crawling on me this whole time. Super cool. And he's breathing heavy. So here comes the big one. Yeah, I don't think I can. Not here.
Okay.
All right, the anteater. The king! There's like the best meme ever of like an anteater. You ever see when they stick their arms out to their sides?
Oh, and he does
that like this?
Dude, they swipe at you. That's when they stand up like that. That's they mean business.
No kidding.
You know? I mean, because this guy, he's got no teeth, but he's got these wicked claws. And the most potent thing about him.
He looks like a massive possum.
Yeah, and I mean, he's just a tank. Yeah. You know, he'll destroy everything. And I love the guy, but they smell, and man, when they take a dump, it's horrible. You know, that's why I was holding. I was like, should I take him? Should I not?
Right.
I brought him to the Ludlow library, and he took a crap inside the cage, and I had to go into the children's bathroom to clean him up. There was crap everywhere.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, it wasn't fun. But that's the thing is when you're dealing with animals, and they
What do
always
they eat? I mean,
Oh, we
ants?
have well,
Or-
yeah, you eat ants, but that's a good question. Is we have this
Jeez.
insectivore
Yeah.
stuff. We make like a insect smoothie if you know.
Oh, okay, I got
something
you.
like
It's like
that.
it's like a
Yeah, and then like we'll throw them
cocktail.
yeah, exactly, and then we'll throw them like a pumpkin or something. You'll crunch into it like watermelon and stuff, and like he gets really dry skin, so I got to give him coconut oil rub downs once in a while.
Okay.
Because his feet get all dry.
Yeah.
But the problem with these guys are very short lived. They only live about 9 years.
Really?
Yeah, so this is my little baby. This one was born at the facility too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, buddy.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know he's cute.
Where are they from?
These guys, South
Yeah.
America.
South America.
Yeah, because you got your giant anteaters. It's
Yeah.
actually called the tamandua.
You think they're in Mexico? I feel like I've seen.
You
like,
could-
something
yeah,
like
that's
what are
South
those?
America.
What are the other ones? There's like
There's giant anteaters.
ocelots. Maybe it's an
Ocelot are more like a cat.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, these guys.
It's too bad you couldn't have brought a lemur. The lemurs were cool.
Well, if we have some baby monkeys born and if we have them, I'll let you know. I'll pop in. I'll play
yeah,
with,
yeah. That's
you know.
probably the only time you can really play with them.
Yeah. There's a
when they're
very
younger.
short window when you can play with a lot of the animals. You know.
That's the thing.
They-
Monkeys are so crazy that it's like you don't want to be messing with a monkey.
Yeah, and then you got to disconnect. Like when we had the panther,
Yeah.
and I raised him that one day he just jumped effortlessly past my face. I was like, I'm out of here. I mean, he could
Yeah.
and let me pet him through the fence, but I would not go back in that cage, man.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I've got too many scars to. You know, it's my dad when I got almost killed by the white-tailed deer. He's like, "No, you respect the animals." You know.
You almost got killed by a white-tailed
Yeah,
deer.
man, me and my buddy got mauled.
Talk about that.
That's right. This right here is
Yeah.
the horn. This was in my leg.
That was in
So
your
me and
leg?
my buddy this is years ago. We're in the
That's like an inch long.
yeah, it's right in and let me put this guy back.
Yeah, here. We'll take the animals. It was fun hanging out with the milk snake. Let's swap them out. Get some story time in here. You have the cage for this guy? Huh? Sure. We could talk about the milk snake. Well, what was your story? Keep going with
okay,
that,
so-
man. Yeah.
All right, so
I can hang on.
so me and my buddy, you know, I'll save the name to protect the innocence.
Yeah.
But me and my buddy, this is going on 20 years ago. And like I said, I'm not a hunter. I don't know anything. And we got a white-tailed deer that was injured.
Yeah.
So, you know, we had him. And it was about a 6-point buck, about 130 pounds.
Yeah.
And
It's a
we're
small
yeah,
buck.
Yeah,
smaller
small
buck.
buck. But when he's next to you, he's about like this. You
Yeah,
know?
still, yeah.
And we walk in there, me and my buddy, and you know we're smoking a joint, and the thing
As
goes,
you do.
and it goes and makes this noise. I'm like, I never did that before, and
Yeah.
I didn't know what rutting season was.
Oh,
Right,
it was
so-
like in November, I'm
Yeah,
assuming?
right,
Yeah,
so he
during
comes
the rut.
up. He comes up, and so I'm standing here, and my buddy is like right here, and here's the deer, and the deer comes up and it nudges my buddy with the antler, and I kind of pull his antler, and he turns and he hits me.
Yeah.
Good thing the fence was behind me because I would have fell down. He would have gutted me. So he puts the
Oh.
horn in my leg. I push him back and I hit him. My buddy looks at me. He's like, "You want me to go get help?" I'm like,
What happened? Did the whole rack come
No,
off?
just because it was this was the bottom nub,
Snapped?
the bottom nub. Well, they shed their antlers.
Yeah. Did
So
it
I
snap
cut this
up?
off. No, I
you
cut
it off. of him.
afterwards
Yeah.
I made sure I got this.
Yeah.
You know, so but he hit me. And my buddy's like, "You want me to go get help?" I'm like, you know, so I turn.
Who are you gonna call?
Yeah, I turn, I
Ghostbusters?
pivot, and I run. And he watched me run by, and he locks eyes with the deer. And he's like, "Oh, Stan, get this fucking deer away!" And he goes to running, and he's looking at the deer, and he's running, and he doesn't see the tree. He hits a tree with his face, and the deer picks him up. He's a stocky big dude.
Yeah.
And knocked him down, and the deer goes running to where we came in. He's just standing there waiting for us.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, "Go for the fence," you know. He thought I meant go for the gate. I jumped the fence. He's trying to open the fence, you know. I'm like, go for it, you know. And he gets to the top. He does one of these, goes, whoa, and he falls back in, right?
No way.
Springs back over, comes over. And I'm standing, I'm bleeding out the front of my leg. The whole back of his leg is all messed up. He's sitting here, he looks at me, goes, "Dude, that was crazy." He never dropped it. He held on to
Can't
it.
hold on to the
He held on
That's
the whole time.
dedication.
Yeah, man.
That's dedication right
so
there.
yeah, that was probably one of the scariest moments I ever had. You know, it's a
Yeah, I
funny.
was gonna ask you that. What's it been like taking
Yeah.
care of so many different animals, and like how close have you come to really getting your?
When we got our lynx that just passed away last year, but when we got him,
What kind of lynx
Siberian
was it?
lynx,
No
yeah,
kidding.
Siberian lynx, and we had him. We just got him, and it was the second day, and I'm in the pen, and the guy that had him used him for educational programs,
Yeah.
And I was about 2 years old, but I didn't know this cat, So, and I don't really mess with too many things that I don't know, but I'm in the pen, and he's way up top, so I'm like, that's all cool. So I'm going for the door, but I'm going through the door that just goes right outside the cage because we have a 2-door system always,
Yeah.
just in case for. But anyways, I'm like, he's way up there. As I open the door, he starts charging. She just comes ripping down, jumps, and she's coming out. And I got the door halfway open. I'm like, either I try to get out and it might follow me, or else I got to post up. So I shut the door and I just stood there. And she literally, I'm not kidding you, slid right up in front of me, like from me to you, and just looked at me. And did one of these like, and walked away. And I was like,
yeah.
But
I would say cats are probably one of the more scary animals I would assume to work with because they're just so unpredictable, and they are an apex predator. Like they're perfectly built to just destroy anything they want. Like even a house cat going crazy. I mean, one of those little things, if it really wanted to, could just tear you apart.
Oh yeah,
I mean, if
the best is when you're scratching them on the back there. They're like, and I was like,
exactly.
Coming at you like that.
Well, you've seen like I don't know. I've seen videos of house cats attacking people or something like that.
Oh yeah,
just going crazy. Like some guy had one up for adoption. I don't know if you've ever seen
the
that
one
video.
where it climbs up his leg.
Yeah, and it's like ah, things like this, like screaming on it, just like biting.
Yeah, and he's
with
like,
all its might. Yeah,
that's a classic. Yeah, and I mean little stuff like, so I was doing a senior center, and I was showing all the seniors. They're great doing it for them.
That's cool. You guys do quite a bit of community outreach.
I used to do it a lot. Now there's a lot of regs because
pandemic and
pandemic, and even before that, I was bringing schools, and it started turning to we don't want the kids touching the animals and stuff, and that's a lot of it. Kids, they don't care what it's from, where it is. They're like, does it bite? Can I touch it? Is it gonna crap on? And then. But I was at the senior center and I had a hedgehog, and I'm just talking to seniors, and a little bites into my hand, and they got
what was it?
A hedgehog.
Oh yeah.
And he bit on it, and they got sharp little nasty teeth. And I'm talking, I'm hoping he's gonna let go. I'm trying to be cool about it. And all of a sudden I'm like, and they bite too, and I just held my hand up, and he's hanging there, and everybody starts laughing, and it was like the big thing of show. And then probably the best one was at the Ludlow Library when I had the alligator when I was little.
Yeah.
And I was...
the alligator you showed us?
Yeah.
He was really small.
When we got him, it was like this big.
No way.
Somebody had him in a tank for 7 years.
How big do you think he is now?
He's probably like...
10?
No, not
7?
even... No, dude, he's probably like 5. Because he's
really?
stunted. He's stunted.
Oh,
he was in a cage.
They only get as big as their
Exactly, and we just got him.
Yeah.
And this is actually the second one. The first one we had died... Because what happens is when they grow, their organs want to grow. Their body doesn't want to grow, but their organs want to grow, and it messes them up.
I think a lot of reptiles are like that, right?
Yeah,
Snakes
you
like
can
that?
fish, a lot of things that don't get as big as their environment.
Yeah.
But I was at the library and I got the alligator and the other kids, and then I took my knife and the little latched right into my thumb, and I'm just sitting. I'm like, all right, you don't want to scare the kids and stuff, and then. After I finished talking, I'm like, and it bites too. And then I kind of showed him my thumb was in his mouth. It was just a baby, so it wasn't vicious, And his teeth were a little squirrely because he was stunted. So his teeth were kind of off kilter. But yeah, the kids erupted. They loved it,
That's awesome. Yeah, I was going to say, animals are like the secret pathway to every kid's heart.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exciting. Even when, like, you brought me there, kind of the excitement that I haven't felt in a while.
I appreciate the fact that your honesty about, like, with zoos. And you're right. There's a lot of misconception about, and I'm like,
I hadn't gone to a zoo for the longest time because in my head, and not even really thinking deeper about the whole concept, I just never went because I'm like, well, that sucks. Animals, get torn from their environment. Like obviously, that would suck, but you don't realize. I don't know. It becomes a needless sort of moral debacle because the reality is that their animals are being taken care of, and that's what matters most.
Yeah, I mean,
like for instance, and just to give you an example of how this misconception can be so exaggerated, I used to live near a horse rescue farm for like people. For those of you who don't know, like once race horses and work horses are no longer used to their owners, sometimes they'll just put them down.
Oh, just shoot them. Oh, yeah.
Because if for those of you also don't know, horses need like dentists and people who can fix their hooves all the time. They're high maintenance animal.
There's a lot of food and a lot of crap that comes out of
them,
and
a lot of food and a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And then you need shelter, yada yada. So even an organization like that got a lot of crap from PETA. I mean, they went to New York to advocate for like the horses because obviously New York still has horse-drawn carriages because it's like a staple of New York.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the beginning.
But
of,
you just like I see with me, I don't because it all takes that horse to get spooked and like,
Yeah.
oh, Jesus, it's New York City.
It's New York
Yeah,
City,
and the
exactly.
beep horn and things off and it's
Exactly.
trampling people and
But
they're
it's like the
kill the
zoo.
horse.
It's like the zoo. You don't realize where else would the animals go. And I mean, even Liam Neeson was there with there's some people
really?
in Palmer
Yes.
who met Liam Neeson
Oh, yeah?
because he was there advocating because PETA was like freaking out that there were still horses with horse-drawn carriages. It's like, all right, people from PETA, where are you going to put the horses?
Yeah, that's a great question.
So say if they were, well, let's shut down your zoo. Okay, what are we going to do with
What are
these
you gonna do?
animals? Just euthanize them all?
That's so funny you said it because I say that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, well, why don't you send them to a reserve? I look and I go, find a reserve, find somewhere, and I'll be glad to send them there.
Yeah, yeah.
Get them off my shoulders. This is just a money pit.
Yeah.
With this, you know.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you said horses because Nick Cochi, the sheriff, he called the other day, and I don't know the whole details, but we're going to be housing 3 police horses.
No kidding.
In the near future, yeah.
Retired police horses?
I don't know exactly what they're going to be used.
Oh, okay.
But they just didn't have a spot to keep them for a while, so we're going to
that's
house.
cool,
We're
you
just going to do them a
guys, yeah.
solid. Yeah, you know, you got to give back. You know,
Right.
it's Nick Coach.
Well, you have, yeah, and you have,
I gotta take care of my buddy.
You have all the utility to do it, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. And a lot of times, like donkeys and things, and we take in and like. And the thing is, we get people, they come, they drop off the animal, they cry, oh my God, and they're like, oh, I'm going to be here every day to see them. I never see them again, and they're gone, you know, and yeah, so it's chilled out.
There's a lot of really positives to getting to introduce people to animals because you forget what environment is all about and what habitat and environment does. I mean, it can be a good awakening for people to maybe even be more proactive in being somebody who wants to help the environment, you know, from a pollution standpoint or from maybe like what you do is take care of animals because there's really not enough of that. There's a certain degree where, you know, I've never been an advocate of being over emotional about things. Like I told you, you know, I'm looking to pursue hunting, and you know, the immediate response is, how could you do that? But it's like, well, if you eat meat, what's the alternative?
You've been to McDonald's? What do you think? It comes off a magical tree?
More often than not, being involved is far more productive no matter how you're involved than just complaining about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's really the point? If you're just going to be somebody who complains about, we'll say, global warming or something, but you've never done anything about it, then what really are you doing?
Well, also like for special needs, like
you guys are creating
a sensory park.
A sensory park.
Yeah,
Talk about that for a little.
I don't know exactly what because we're just starting to build it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be for sound. It's going to be for handicap accessible, and it's going to be
What's
for
that
kids.
experience like? Like, so what is?
I
talk
honestly,
about that a little.
I haven't seen all the toys. For me, that's like more my brother Wally's department with that, and my mother and stuff. Like, you know,
is it gonna be like a petting type zoo?
No, it's
or
gonna
is
be it's gonna be
like
all
rainforest sounds.
Well, maybe like that. Yeah, exactly. But it's gonna be more interact for kids, because. To be honest with you, what I see mostly the kids, they want to play on our swing sets, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, kids, like when I walk through and I got my dog, like, oh, there's a dog. They see the dog, they're like, oh, and parents are like, there's a zebra right there. Like, oh, doggy, because they can pet it.
Right.
You know? And like I said, it's like walking around.
It is a lot cooler to be able to interact with the animals. But it's not like you can put, like you said, a kid in with the zebras.
Yeah, exactly.
Or what were those, like, African deer you had? The ones with, like, the sharp blades?
The ones, the Nigerian antelopes.
Yeah, those were wild.
Yeah, there's some, but I mean, like for me, like walk around the zoo, and like I remember, like there was a guy in a wheelchair and like this, and I just took the ferret and I rubbed it on him, and he like this, you know.
Yeah.
And the lady's like, that's the first time you smiled in like 2 years.
Wow.
You know, it's just like, and
he was like somebody who's he was
paralyzed, you know, and he's like, and you're in a chair, and like you come around.
What is that disorder? Is that It's kind of like what Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, kind of, exactly.
Oh, okay,
He was kind of,
yeah.
And but like walking around, like you see little kids and they never seen him. Like first, the kid will go, you know, and they'll freak out like it's a snake. But then they come over and they touch it, and you're like, oh, I got to touch a snake. And it's like next time they're out in the woods, they see a snake, they're not going to grab a shovel and hack its head off.
Right.
To appreciate it a little bit.
It's funny because I've seen people do that.
Oh yeah,
it's not too close to me. It's like, well, what kind of snake was it, man? Like you just did that to like any snake.
Did it get close to you? Did you get close to it?
and it's funny because this is an experience that I had at Lupa Zoo when I went as a kid, and it was somebody holding a snake like this, and it might have been you, man.
Yeah, probably
Who
was.
knows?
Yeah.
It was somebody who had all the snakes out, and I asked, why doesn't it bite you? And he goes, that person, whether it could have been you, Stan. I mean,
I
this
know
was
that-
like in
I-
high school, but the guy said, "Well, why don't you bite me?" He said that to me, and I go,
I remember who that was. There was a guy we had, a
okay,
reptile
so
guy,
it
yeah.
was a reptile guy, and I'm like, that makes so much sense because a lot of the times, like obviously snakes eat mammals, but it's not like stupid. It knows the size of the mammal. It probably can size up just about any mammal.
You know, and like that thing I've raised from a baby, it knows I'm not going to hurt it. It knows that. I mean, you walk out in the wild and you try to grab son. Like,
It probably bite you. Yeah.
Garter snakes, Jesus Christ. First
Out of
thing they do is crap on you and then they bite you. They're
Yeah, I
nasty
know. I
little
used to
things.
catch them all the
Oh,
time.
I used to
but
love
was
catching
so
those. but,
hot,
yeah.
tired of getting shit and pissed on. Like it's a disgusting mess.
Yeah.
And I've seen it bad before.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've gotten it bad.
Oh, yeah.
from-
Big
from
time,
that.
man. Big time.
Yeah.
Is
No.
it, or is that the anteater? Is the anteater going crazy?
Was he picking at?
Yeah,
the
he's
things?
trying to break out. That happens, you know. So, because we got to get these. How much time have we got left here?
I don't know. Is there anything else you want to share? I hate to rush you
No,
out of
I
here.
think we're good. I mean,
mean-
yeah, I can't really think of anything. You know, well, we're going to be closed after Halloween.
Yeah.
We're only going to be open on the weekends, and then after November we close.
So what do you do during the winter? How does that
I
even
used
work?
to tell the joke that we shoot them all, get new ones next year, and it didn't fly. Like people like start taking it. It's like, no
Yeah, I was
way,
gonna
really?
say, they're
You know,
already-
I
they're
gotta
already
stop that
too
joke.
sensitive.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you, what are the implications? I'm sure you get so much flack from organizations like PETA and this and that. Do you? I mean,
No, because we get.
What do you have to
We
deal
have
with
people
to-
come and the USDA comes and we have inspections twice a year.
Oh, okay.
I have my vet, Dr. Constance, where he comes and he checks in and he signs off that the animals are good and stuff like that. And it's not like you know, I like I said, in some place in Arkansas, Florida, these people got them in their backyards and stuff. And you know, that's the guy with 3 fingers, you know.
Right.
So and well, other than that, we're I mean, and plus, a happy animal is a good animal because one of the good things that somebody made me feel good is like your animals are really cool. They come up to the fence, they're not pacing, stuff, and that's the enrichment park. That's where you got to keep them, you know, their minds
Healthy and
occupied.
happy,
Yeah, because if they're you know malnourished, if they're not feeling good, they're gonna hide in the back. They
I
don't
was
wanna
gonna
do
say the
nothing.
enclosures are nice and big. Like sometimes I was like, where are they? You know what I mean? Because some of them are so pushed back.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
Monkeys have
the
the in and
big
out sign.
barn, and that's
Oh, yeah.
the thing is in the winter we shut you know, everybody goes inside, and like next week I'm gonna have to go wrangle that alligator out of the water, so that should be pretty.
Yeah, where do you put the alligator?
we
during
have a
the winter?
heated barn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You gotta.
Yeah,
grab
we
it
got to
yourself?
because he goes in the water. No, I got a couple other guys, but we got to like hoof him out of water, drag him out.
Belt his.
Yeah, throw a schmuck over his head.
Yeah.
And we put him in there. And the thing is, alligator, when we put him in, we barely have to feed him through the whole winter. An alligator, if his tail's fat enough, it'd go a whole year without eating.
Really?
You know, yeah. And
What do you feed them during the winter?
We chicken. We give just
Chicken, yeah,
mostly
just
chicken,
pieces of
yeah.
chicken and
You
stuff
know,
like
like there was a couple of times when he was in the pond, one of the geese tried to make a run for it, and he didn't make it, and he just got into the alligator pen, and he put on a show for a family.
No way, he got the geese like, right there in front of everyone.
Yeah, but he's used to eating the.
Yeah.
You know, so he just was flopping
Well,
around.
that's just and that's nature. You know what I mean?
that's
I
what he
can't tell
does.
you how often sometimes I root for the for the carnivore because you know
Oh,
whether it's very graphic or not, everything has to eat.
Here, I'll leave you off with a joke. So this guy goes to Spain, right?
Yeah.
And he's in a restaurant, and the guy next to him, the big production, they come out, and it was, you know, they're trumpets, and they put this little plate in front of him, and these two round things on the table, right? And the guy asks, he's like, hey, what's all this hubbub over there? And the guy's like, well, you know, after the bullfight, when the bull, dies, they take the balls, and it's a delicacy, and and you got to be on a list, and and wait for this and stuff, and the guy's like, yeah, I'm hanging out here for about a month, so I'll put me on the list. So a couple weeks go by, he gets a phone call. So he goes to the restaurant, he's all ready, do his delicacy thing, and the big trumpets come up, and they find two little tiny balls like this, right? And he looks at it, he's like, what is he? As well. Sometimes the matador wins, sometimes the bull wins.
There's the guy's balls in there.
Yeah, so I got this crazy,
It's true, man.
crazy picture I got from a magazine where a horn is going right through this guy's.
Oh, I seen that. I seen that.
I love. It's one of my favorite pictures ever.
What I
can't stand that throwing spears at a freaking.
What I always marvel at is how the heck did that ever become a tradition out in Spain? They just let the bull out and then like there's some seriously good footage. Yeah, they throw darts. At, no, I'm talking about like when they let the bulls run.
Oh, the run. See now that one I can get down.
I'm like, what the hell? I've seen people picked up, thrown in the air, and this is the really wild part. After they've been thrown in the air, kicked in the air, and then slammed into a wall, they get back up and grab their shoe and jump over the fence. I'm like, what the fuck are these people eating? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, how do you get a beating like that from an animal like that? Do you ever see them like they try flipping cars sometimes?
Oh yeah, they go nuts, dude. Yeah, I mean, when they like an elephant, that's like number one, they're super destructive. But if an elephant goes rogue, there's nothing you can do about it. It has to be put down. Yeah, they just go nuts.
Elephants are so cool. What's the conversation been like that? How come you guys never had elephants?
Because it's a lot. I've had a kangaroo.
Oh, you've had a kangaroo.
We have a wallaby right now.
That's right. You did.
I had a kangaroo, and I used to box him. He was pretty fun to box with. So
So what was the process? Was the discussion for an elephant?
An elephant, because we do no space, and they eat so much, there's so much crap, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, because
that's one of the more psychological ones. Where this is like a
it's like the giraffe. Yeah, when we got them, they were about like 30 grand, and then now the fluctuates. It can be anywhere from 60 to 80 grand, and now if we got another one, the regulations, we have to build $100,000 chute for the vet to look at. We were really lucky with our giraffe that it lived to 27, which is super old, and we never had any problems with him. So everybody's like, get another giraffe. And it's funny, people come like, where's the giraffe? Where's the giraffe? And like, I've been waiting years and years to come. Like, it's an animal, man. You can't, it doesn't live forever. You gotta come by, and check it out. Exactly. Well, I should have, would have, could have.
27 years. You guys had it for that long? Did you grow it as a baby?
It was about 7 years old when we got it.
How do you get that? Like, well, who
it's funny because me and my buddy were walking through the zoo and my dad's waiting at the front. Yeah. And I'm like, Dad, what's up? He goes, I'm waiting for my giraffe. And my buddy looks at me and goes, you don't hear that every day.
Yeah, right? It's like Mike Tyson with his tigers and everything. Like, you get a couple bucks and then...
To get him down from from New York, there's a special trailer. And it goes up, and then you get the giraffe in there.
Big zoo in New York, Cincinnati?
I don't know. Bronx Zoo is,
Bronx Zoo.
And,
is that where you got him from?
No, we got him from a breeder up in the Catskills.
Oh, okay.
And but the trailer goes down, and the giraffe automatically puts his feet out, and he pins his feet in the corners, so so it doesn't tip over when you're driving. That's why you put it down.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is you got to make sure there's no low bridges. So like that.
Seriously.
So.
You have to have how tall was he when you got him?
About 20 feet. Yeah, 20 feet. They get up, about 20 feet
I
wonder
how tall they are when they're born. Like 12 off
the biggest problem with a giraffe when it's born is when it's coming out the fall. Boom,
sometimes can break its neck.
Yeah, big time,
Oh my God.
But here we got,
what do we got here?
Me and my assistant, we got you a little mug there.
Oh, nice. Fact, I like that. Oh, what? This is a pretty cool one. This is a Dwight Schrute mug.
Yeah, man. We were in Scranton. We saw it, so we figured.
No, well, that's right. You guys went to the Scrantons.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's for me and your ma.
So, like, what's the plan from here? I mean, obviously, I saw the. Oh, geez, this guy.
Yeah,
he's getting fast now.
Yeah,
he's warm.
He's getting warm. Yeah.
He's really warm. Here.
But what do you? The plan?
Yeah.
I mean. Like there he goes. I gotta wait for him to get
it. That sucks.
No, he's just gotta get through. That's all. Now we gotta wait a minute.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. I know.
Yeah, take your time. That's why I kept bringing him away from there because.
Yeah,
I remember a drive with the red tail that I used to have, the red tail boa.
Yeah.
And like. If I wasn't paying attention to where he was going, he'd go in in the seat.
Just like you did right now, you stinker. Oh man.
What happened?
He's in the chair now. He's in the chair.
Oh my God.
Wait, see? He's all wrapped up in the chair. Come here, buddy. Come on. I got him. I got you. Come on, you stinker. This is your finale for the show.
Right? Holy crap.
Okay, but come on.
Yeah, the mug's cool. The mug's really cool.
Okay. All right. Let's put this guy back. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think we covered.
Yeah,
that,
well, it's. I'm glad you were able to make it. I can't believe you brought so many animals. You didn't have to do that, man.
Well, I'll keep tabs on when something's born. I'll let you know, and if you're doing a podcast, we'll pop in. We'll bring it in real quick or something like that.
That would be awesome. Well, that's kind of really the whole the roundabout of the message that I'd like to send with this is that it's definitely a place that has far more to do with taking care of animals than stripping them from nature. You know what I mean? And it's not like, you know what I mean? I guess there was the Big E doesn't have a elephant anymore because like it's tough on the elephant. You know what I mean?
Good example of the Big E is when they have the grizzly bear there. This lady's up to the guy and she's like, "How long?" Because you see the movie, the people are like, "Oh my God, it's in this little cage."
Yeah.
And the lady's like, "How long is he's in your? How long's the Big E? 2.5 weeks or something like that." Yeah. And the lady's like, "Well, where is he the rest of the time?" And he goes on 100-acre farm running around for.
Right.
And
right.
it's only works 2 weeks
Yeah,
out of the
I know
year.
people usually have like the
They
worst. They assume the worst about things. And
well, I was getting my hair cut, and the lady next to me in the barber, she's like, "Well, he works at Lupa Zoo, And the lady's like, "I don't believe in animals in cages." I'm like, "Do you have a dog?" And she's like, "Well, I have a dog." I go, "Where do you put your dog when you leave the house?"
It goes back to the supply chain. I mean, do you eat meat?
Yeah, no, but
like think about the animals she's eating.
Well, that too.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
That too.
But yeah, do you have a dog?
Yeah, do you have a dog? And I'm like, "What do you do when you leave the house?" She goes, "I put it in a crate." I go, "Is that a cage?"
Ain't that
And
funny?
she shut right up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people, they it's like, as I get older, I try not to say things I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
a good point. I know, and and I think that's a great. I think that's a great practice for most people because I think that's where a lot of people are right now. Is they just assume things they don't know and they'll get on each other's backs about it.
Yeah, people think they're freedom fighters.
Right. That's like that's how you would sum up. I think that's how I would sum up even the experience of the internet today. It's just a bunch of people who don't know and jumping to conclusions,
believing whatever they read. Wikipedia, everything's real on that.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. They'll jump to conclusions and they'll associate people with.
They don't try to find all the facts.
No.
Did you lose the snake on?
Yeah, you guys can't keep a hold of me. It's an ongoing job. But yeah, no, I mean, I guess you got your hands full here.
Yeah,
Stan. I'd love to keep you a little longer.
Yeah, no,
and
like
have some more conversations.
So definitely, it was definitely fun, man.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and
absolutely.
Guys, check out Lupa Zoo down the road. It sucks that it's the end of the season, but see, Mom, you gotta. Yeah, we got.
Just let him go.
All right, folks. Let's freaking wrap this up. All right, we're done. We're out of here. Peace, and we're out. Jeez.